same as last year. I feel really excited about this tournament. About all matchroom tournaments, I feel really excited.
You represent your country. It's good that they made a choice of you to play. So I'm happy to be here.
It will be a tough match. It's race to 7. I think all matches will be really tough.
I'm very excited to play my second World Cup of Pool because I played the last year. That was my first one, and really looking forward for this one.
I think it's going to be pretty good. The most important thing is to enjoy the game and have fun. The rest depends.
And your commentary team for this one is Carl Boys and Phil Yates.
Thank you very much indeed. I'll tell you what, some star power on display here. It might be a first-round match, but at least 3 of the 4 players have got really good international records. Eklent, Kaci, coming off a recent win in a Euro Tour event. He's always one to be reckoned with. And the Russians, Gorst and Chinakhov, I personally believe, might be live outsiders for this. Not just the match, for the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a very intriguing matchup, this one. European #1, Kaci, a formidable force in the game of 9-ball pool now. And you see Fedor, Gorst and Ruslan, Chinakhov. I think on paper it's fair to say Russia have the slight edge in this match, purely based on the fact of we're not too familiar with Kaci's partner, but I have been told he's had some big wins in the USA in some events over there, so let's not count him out just yet.
Yeah, sometimes the little-known player can spring up and shock everyone. It's never a shock, though, when Kaci plays well. He does it most of the time. Maybe here a wardrobe malfunction.
Sorry? You're not allowed to check the rack.
Viv Rusko is our
First
referee, and
Albania to break.
she just told Eklent
Time
Kaci,
running.
you're not allowed to check the rack. So there, take that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that rule. Don't like players looking at the rack and trying to see where them gaps are. Just get them and break them balls. Good solid hit there. I think it's always the case, Phil. First sort of day and your first round match of any tournament takes a little bit of time to get used to the break shot. It's not a bad looking table, this, for your first visit. It's always nice if you get an open layout in your first rack of any tournament. This is going to take a bit of judging though. He's got to spin off a couple of rails and judge speed of the table. That's if he wants to get really close to this 4. A pretty good effort that from Fedor, has to be said. Always difficult playing them type of shots when you've not had much table time. These can always be tricky. Sometimes they hit that middle point. But he's judged that well, so it's a good effort this so far from Team Russia.
He's got an absolutely tremendous temperament for one so young, really. Only just celebrated his 19th birthday. But he's calm, stoic, concentrates fiercely.
Yeah, kind of very much opposite types of players. Ruslan, talented, likes to play the game with a bit more fluency, but as you can see, Fedor, he's very much more calculated. Big practicer as well. This easy combination. Takes the first rack, Phil. Good start. As we get to see, look at his break. So he's made a ball, but it's what we call a random ball, so as you can see, he's on the yellow one ball. No real pop, so he's going to be playing safe. It's a good opportunity for a safety shot here for Ruslan. Yeah, good cue ball there. Dangerous with the one ball because it was always going near that pocket. But luckily for him, he's got the cue ball tight behind that brown 7, so that's not worked out too bad.
Extension called.
These type of shots are always difficult to judge. Brand new table, cue ball close to the rail, always seems to go a lot wider than you would think. He's made a good hit here. A little bit unlucky, but rule number 1, hit the ball, which he did. That's the type of shot for where it can catch a kind of newbie player out, because if you've never played in these type of events, that matchroom run, the tables are, you know, it's all brand new balls, very slidey, but Eklent is obviously gaining experience now. Just caught the rail, didn't he, which stopped that from going in. At first glance I thought he potted that, but as you could see, just glanced the rail.
So then to the table, Kaci's partner, Besar Spahiu. I really do hope I've pronounced that correctly. Besar's correct, that's what we're going to call him in future.
Yeah, I've never seen Besar play, but you won't want to bump into these in an alley, would you?
And you're saying that? I've got no chance.
You'll be alright, Phil. Black belt in karate, aren't you?
In eating.
Yeah, he's just lost the cue ball a little bit there, the slickness. I don't think he wanted to use the second rail there. I think he was just playing into the area. Kaci's got to make things as simple as he can for his partner, just to settle him down and help with the nerves, because he will be nervous, there's no doubt about it.
The tattoo on Kaci's neck reads perfection. That's what he strives for. I'm afraid in this tournament that is almost impossible to achieve. You've got to take what you're given and just run with it.
Yeah, he played a nice shot there from the 4 to the 5. Speed was everything. And these type of racks, they have to go, don't they, Phil? In these short races, race to 7, you have to take these chances.
Good sign, queuing awkwardly over the brown 7 ball, knocked it in nicely. And now the Albanians really should equalise. Not a great amount of interaction between the two players thus far. What I will say is that Kaci is quite a strong, silent type, so might struggle to interact with any partner.
Yeah, and I've always been a big fan of that when you're playing Scotch doubles, Phil. Just let your opponent play the shot he wants to play, and if it feels like he's not seeing the shot, and of course you can ask your partner, can't you? I always think that's fared well over the years in this great event. And this 9 ball to tie it up.
Our first match today was a runaway. You get the feeling the second match of this Bet Victor World Cup of Pool will be a lot more closely contested.
Yeah, that last rack tells me though the Albanian team are definitely in this match. I see this as a 50-50 match. Not a bad effort on the break. That was intended to try and get the cue ball coming parallel across. It's just at the moment still early stages, of course, in the event. I'm sure as time goes on, players will really figure this break out. And I know in the practice room, Phil, there's a couple of TVs in there, so you can watch the matches as you practice, and the players will be keeping a beady eye on how this break is going.
Yes, but at the moment, you have to say, a high regularity of dry breaks, and there, well, that was a complete misjudgment, catching the far bump of the middle pocket and leaving the one on.
Jen, I clocked something there, Phil, and all. Ruslan took the safety shot on, and if it was me, on a personal level, I'd prefer Fedor to play the safety shots. I know when I always played with Darren in this event, we had an understanding where if it was a safety shot or a push out, he had a better brain than me, so he played that shot, and if it was a pot, I just stood up and played the pot. And I just feel like Fedor's the better man for the safety shots. That's just my opinion though, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yes, I think it's true. Gorst is younger, but tactically wiser. Although it doesn't appear to have caused any great damage for the Russians. No route to pot the 2.
Yeah, natural line of the path then. Looked like it was always going towards the brown 7 and the 9 ball, so you had to take a little bit of a risk, did Kaci. He's just trying to swerve round this. Not quite hit that as intended, but it's not a gimme this shot for Fedor, so I think it's important in this format, Phil. Short races, you only play a shot each, of course, so it's very difficult to get in a rhythm when you play Scotch doubles. You've really got to understand the strengths that both players possess. I think it's crucial. So he's taking this on. This is a lot thinner than the TV camera tells you, no. He's missed that. Didn't really get close either, so a good chance here. He's got a bank shot, and the 6 ball, the green 6 over this corner makes this pocket even bigger, Phil, doesn't it?
It does, and you suspected he might undercut the blue 2 ball, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest shots in Q Sports, that. It's when you don't see the pocket in your eye line. It's a blind shot. Well, I'll tell you what, he's missed that by an absolute mile. The pocket was huge there. That's yeah, that's worrying signs there. He's having a little laugh. He knows the pocket was huge there, does Clancy. Look at that, missed it by a mile. So this is turning into an important rack, this. Just to settle Both players down. Look, I think he's just seen it on the replay screen, hasn't he? He's having a little chuckle. Now Ruslan's turn to miss. That was a lot thinner than it looks, though. You know, them type of shots again, super thin. They can be easy missed, and they make you look like a bit of a fool, don't they?
What a big occasion this is for Besar. Spahiu.
Yeah, what he needs Kaci to get the cue ball in like perfect position every shot, and then he's not really got any testing pots or positional shots, and it'll just really help him settle down. Nice shot this though. Spinning the cue ball all around the table, off 3 rails. Nice shot there. He does have a little bit of angle, but where the 6 ball is, there's not going to be much work to do from the orange 5. So I just pull this ball back a little bit. That should get the job done. He's landed a bit straight on that. I know the 6 ball's over the pocket, but you don't want to be near the rail. And he's going to have a little testing positional shot now, because you don't get nothing for low on this 7 because of where the 8 ball is. So this is all about speed control now. Yeah, that's not bad. That works. He'd rather be high than low on that ball. So that's I think that's a job well done there from Besar. Is that correct, Besar, Phil?
It is for me. Well, oh dear me.
Yeah, the Eklent, European #1. Played in the Mosconi Cup, the recent Mosconi Cup, but still feel like he's not got much experience in the TV arena, and it's certainly told there. He looks the more shaky of the two at the minute, Phil, doesn't he?
Nicely done. Just needed a little less pace in the cue ball, though.
Yeah, I mean, that type of positional shot there from Fedor, you can be kind of excused early on, can't you? Because you're still not used to this pace, and it's very slick. But the missed 7 ball from Kaci, that's worrying, that, because you've cued it really bad. He's come right across, and he knows better than anyone. But they're getting let off the hook here. The Russians just can't finish this rack off. It's all going on. What a strange rack we've had here. Just shows you, though.
And I think that's one of the great things about this World Cup of Pool, the precision you sometimes see in individual pool isn't there. A lot more thrills and spills until the teams get into a rhythm, and that's hard to foster. It wasn't smooth, but how about this? Russia led 1-0, but now Albania have hit the front at 2-1. They've not been immune to mistakes, but Albania nevertheless lead Russia by 2-1. The Russians breaking off in the fourth. Ruslan Chinakhov at the table.
So as you can see, he's made the yellow 1 ball. Quite a good break there, but players are always trying to make a particular ball, so he wasn't really trying to pop the 1 ball up there, but as I said before, players need a bit of time to figure this break shot out. Usually, Phil, players are very good at pocketing the yellow 1 ball in the side. We've seen that over the last couple of events that we've done, so we'll keep an eye on that one. So we've seen in the last rack Fedor missed a little thin 2 ball in this pocket, so can he judge this one? He's made the pot, but has he left a gap? I think he has. So he's been a little bit fortunate there. He's just looking up to the gods. Not happy with his effort there, but at least Ruslan's got a shot here. It's important they try and run this rack now, because they will know Kaci's struggling a little bit, so whenever you can keep your opponent in his chair, just builds that pressure up. Yeah, this is a nice table layout now. Not so sure even if there's a 7-9 easy combo on or not, just depends where he goes with his cue ball from the 6. I mean, there's no real need to play for that, it's just something I've spotted. Well, he didn't want to contact the 8. I think he was just trying to get a little bit closer for Fedor, and just left a bit of distance now, so needs to hit this ball well. That was the problem, Phil, the distance. That's why he tried to get him close, but he's nowhere near it that way he wanted to hit it.
Just no zip on the cue ball whatsoever. Just a dull contact.
Can he cut this ball in? He couldn't cut it in, so he's had to play safe, and he's used the 8 ball as a blocker. And it's a pretty good effort, that, to be fair, from Ruslan.
It was, but for all intents and purposes, they should still be at the table, just tidying up.
This is the great thing about the World Cup of Pool, though. You know, it's a short race, and you're not just playing for yourself like you usually do all year round, Phil. You're playing for someone else, and every one of them little tricky shots adds a different amount of pressure in the back arm, and we're certainly seeing it in this match at the moment. So he's getting the jump cue out. I'm not really sure what type of shot he's playing. Can he play a jump bank? Is he playing distance? I think the 9 ball's in the way for the bank shot up there, yeah. And he's nearly fluked it. But has he fluked a snooker? Has he got second best prize? That's something in the game you'll never get rid of. That little bit of fortune that you sometimes need. There you see the 9 ball. It both jaws.
And to be honest, I don't think it should be ever got rid of, because it's the X factor, it's the thing you can't predict that makes the game intriguing. It's heartbreaking when it goes against you out on the table, I know that. But for a spectator, I think it just adds that extra spice.
Yeah, and what I like about it is the fact that Fedor's, you know, played a poor positional shot from the 6 to the 7, and now he's faced with this tricky one, and you know, he knows he's not queuing 100% yet, so this takes a bit of bottle, and he's wobbled it in, and that's pretty good, to be fair. Just a simple stop shot now will guarantee position. So this is all about potting the 8 ball. It wasn't clinical, Phil.
It wasn't, but they'll be relieved to get back onto level terms.
So there you see Kaci breaking off his hand in this rack, trying something different. He's gone down the nose. Oh, the cue ball. I was going to say, it just looked like it was going to go in that middle. It had a couple of kisses, which would have been unfortunate, and no shot for his partner. Just look at this cue ball, one kiss, and then the 6 ball looks like it's just going to nudge it in, but it stayed up.
On the lip. Wow. And we always talk, Carl, and issue that cliche about being a game of inches, but it really is even more precise than that. Just one more revolution of that ball, half a revolution, it's in the pocket, it's ball in hand. Albania have got a really good chance.
Well, this is confidence, this, going for the jump cue, going for the pot. And not only has he got a pot this ball, I don't understand how he's going to get on the 3. I know obviously he's going to try and get the cue ball back over, but there's no real gap. I'll tell you what a shot he's played here. He's been a little bit fortunate, but you deserve it. What a shot. Phil, bizarrely, Besar, he's playing the best at the moment.
Besar is a star, and I think that Kaci can get through to pot the red 3 ball. Remarkable. Couldn't have played that again if he tried.
Fortune favoured the brave. Not many players would have played that jump shot just because percentages weren't really in your favour, but it certainly paid off, and what a chance this is.
Just to clarify what I said before, I think Besar would have been able to pot the ball he did on a pretty regular basis, but to have position attached as well, that was remarkable. The winner of this match will go into the last 16 to take on the Czech Republic, or much more likely the Philippines. And right now, just as it was at the start, very hard to forecast a winner. Very hard.
Yeah, I think I'm not alone in saying this. I think we all thought it was going to be Besar who maybe show a few signs of weakness, but he really hasn't. And he looks good out there. It looks like he's enjoying it, and you've got to try and enjoy it, even though there's pressure. Yeah, he looks a nice cueist and all, to be fair, Phil. Looks very solid and compact, and that's always going to put you in good stead on this TV table.
And a 9 ball of that ilk, money in the bank for Eklent Kaci. So Albania, for the second time, hit the front. It was 2-1, now it's 3-2.
As we get to see his break shot, no one's really killing the break at the moment. And then you see again, it was a random ball that went in. It was a good cue ball. But it was a random ball that fell, so there's certainly no consistency at the moment. And you see the 8 ball just come out of the pack and went straight in the pocket. That was quite unusual. Now there's no pot here, but you can certainly get a good cue ball up and split these balls. That needs to travel though. He's under it this by a mile. That one ball should have been all the way down bottom rail. It's about 3 feet short.
And we've seen some gross misjudgments from quite a number of players so far. Getting used to the table, of course, and getting used to the general environment here. We're in the Morningside Arena in Leicester. The first time this venue is held, this World Cup of Pool.
Yeah, the safety shot he had though, he had loads of room for error, so it was quite, you know, a good opportunity. And there you see again, Eklent Kaci has missed that by a country mile. Now I'm not saying it was an easy pot, but at this level, the top players, you don't really see them miss by that much, Phil, do you? That was a, just watch where the one ball goes in.
He's definitely toiling.
Extension, please.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can play that shot, can't you? And you feel like you've cued it good and it might rattle and you think, well, yeah, I've cued that good, but plenty will know he has cued that really bad in his back arm, and that's what's going to build them nerves up. So Fedor's got a chance at this one ball. It's a thin one, but the cue ball's naturally coming back up table for the blue 2. And that's why he's just tried to bump that 3 out, and he's judged that well because the 3 didn't go.
Mind you, Carl, that one ball really did struggle in off the near jaw. Thought about it seriously. Just about flopping into the pocket.
Yeah, it was a nice shot though to break this red 3 out, because that was the problem ball. And this rack looks kind of elementary now. He's just got to make sure he comes and gets back right over this side of the table. You won't be leaving these thin. That's why he's chose to go off the 3 rails. One of them instances where you can see his head shaking there, couldn't you, on the cue? He'd love to have been straight on that pink 4. It was one of them where you've just got to real kill the cue ball and cue it nice, and I do believe he was playing for the orange 5 in the side.
We've seen some shaking down on the shot in this tournament over the years. 12 months ago in Shanghai, one of the poor Korean players was overcome by nerves. And it was visible.
Yeah, it was that 9 ball across the back rail. Yeah, I remember that one.
Nothing too nervous here though, should be routine now. 7 to the side, followed by a comfortable 9.
You can just kind of sense that this one's going to go close. I know that seems fairly obvious, and you know it's only 3-3, but it's just got that air about it, hasn't it?
Absolutely, nothing to choose between them at all. Momentum ebbing and flowing. It is Russia 3, Albania 3. With the alternate break format in operation at this Bedvictor World Cup of Pool, we're expecting plenty of close matches, and this is certainly one of those. The Albanians break off in rack number 7, on level terms with Russia at 3 racks apiece.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a miss hit. That didn't really hit that where he wanted, did he? Sort of come across the one ball there. It's not worked out too bad, has it? Does have a shot at this yellow one ball. You see, he's just looking down table, so he's going to be playing this in the bottom left-hand corner, and then cue ball will naturally run down towards the path of his next ball, which is the blue 2.
Yes, and that being wide open, this is promising.
That's a lot better from Kaci, that one. He's missed a couple of wild ones at the start of this match, so it's a little confidence booster. Of course, the angle, the one ball going in the pocket was always making it an even more generous pocket. Can he hold this ball with a bit of right spin? You can just see there he's putting a load of right hand side on this cue ball, which always makes the pot a little bit more tougher. But he's judged that well, has to be said. I think he's got off to a wonderful start in his opening World Cup of Pool match.
Yes, and I think considering his lack of television exposure, all bodes well. It won't be lost on Kaci that his partner is holding up.
Yeah, JP up in the press room was telling me, obviously our fantastic photographer for the matchroom events, he was telling me that he's a dangerous player, this Besar. He's also a police officer, Phil. I know you like your stats.
I like my puns as well, and I'm trying to think of one.
Albania were the bookies' second favourites in this match, so I would imagine in Albania a lot of their friends will have had a sneaky little punt on them and all. Because I see this match as 50-50, without a doubt.
Well, right at the start of the China-Sweden match, myself and Jeremy Jones were saying that maybe Sweden were value.
Extension call.
They weren't in the end. But I think in this cutthroat format, sometimes if you make one side a heavy favourite, go for the underdog.
Yeah, I must admit, I thought the same. I thought Sweden might, you know, put them under a little bit more trouble than they did, but wasn't to be. And he's swapping cues again, because Eklent uses a longer cue, you see, so now he's swapping hands, so he's playing it lefty, so he's not shy of confidence, is he? Yeah, that was a smart move. No point in trying to get adventurous with the cue ball. Just roll it in with a bit of spin and let your partner knock it in that top pocket.
For the third time, Albania go ahead. 2-1, 3-2, now 4-3. And I think the most interesting component of this match so far is the way that Besar Spahiu is playing.
Yeah, and as you said, if Albania can go on to win this match, you know, he's got his first match out the way and it's a victory, so he's only going to grow in confidence. He's actually been the steadier of the two, you would say, hasn't he, Phil, at the moment? Bit of dry break there from Russia. So there is a pot on here on this one ball. Obviously the two balls not easy to get on. Doesn't really go in many pockets, and speed of this shot is key. And he's kicked a couple of balls and he's gone in behind the orange 5, so it was never easy.
Never easy, and ultimately unlucky.
Well, the two ball did go in the left corner, but he obviously didn't fancy playing that little floaty right and spin type shot that you would have to play to get on that, so maybe still a little bit edgy. Good things can happen if he can hit the right side of this two ball, and he has hit the right side of the two ball, so that's not too bad. He's left a thin pot. Or has the 9 come to his rescue? Difficult to see from the overhead camera, isn't it? I don't think he's left the pot because I've not seen him look at the potting angle. Did he play the pot or the safe? I think he played safe there, Phil, because he didn't. That type of shot, you'd come round and have a look at the potting angle, wouldn't you, just to reassure yourself. I think he's tried to swerve it a touch and hit it more full and play the hook snooker behind the brown 7, me. That's what I think he's done.
Do we have extension?
So the two ball is near the
Extension,
pocket.
please.
And he can't pot it, so he's either got to go across table or off this side left-hand rail.
Yes, and that two ball is just far enough away from the pocket to make this problematic. Has to be judged. Oh, and it was. Would have liked to have potted that thinner to give the cue ball more travel for the red 3 ball.
Yeah, there you see it just hit it a bit fat, didn't it, Phil, like you said. A thinner contact and that cue ball would have come further out into the middle. The pink 4 ball's not in a good spot either, so playing the bank. Well, I'll tell you what, over the years that pocket will swallow that ball, so that just tells you a little story that this year the Ras on table is not playing as big as it once did.
Its days of generosity are over. I was convinced that would fall, and I think so was Besar.
Yeah, even another look at that, I'm amazed that didn't spin and fall in. I mean, look, they don't even look like there's much red 3 there to hit with this jump shot. Well, he's not hit that good. That is not a difficult shot at this level. Obviously, could never guarantee getting on the 4, but to...
I think it's. I'll check. I think it stays on the table.
Oh, he's just asking. Clancy's lost the plot. He thinks the 3 ball's gone off the table, but it's gone on the rail and come back down.
Oh, right then, yeah.
He's asking, does it
Yeah,
go in the
stays on
pocket?
table. So you can start the clock, please.
Yeah, as I was saying, you shouldn't really send the cue ball off the table there because he had so much room of the table to land the cue ball. It should have stopped bouncing way before it got there.
Hold on a minute. So Kaci there said, did the ball stay on the table? Well, of course it did. Have you ever seen one go on a carpet and jump back on? If that happens, tell me.
I don't know if you think Viv kicked it back on table with the right foot or something there. I don't know. Don't care where the 3 is. Just give me that cue ball. Back on table with the right foot or something there. I don't know. Don't care where the 3 is. Just give me that cue ball. Walking around to make sure he leaves his partner the correct angle. That's fine, he can just spin this ball out now into the middle of the table. Anywhere in the middle's good enough. Yeah, that's perfect. So we're approaching, well, his hand's close to it right there, you know. Very close. Look at that on the overhead. Look at his bridge hand, how close it is to that 9. Of course, if you touch the 9, it's a foul. Yeah, Phil, it's approaching crucial times now of this match. These couple of balls will give them a 2-rack advantage.
Well, certainly no sign of weakness from Besar Spahiu, and we don't expect any from Eklent Kaci. In goes that routine 9, and it means for the first time in the match, one of these duos has a 2-rack lead.
There you see again breaking off the hand in the middle of the table. Is it in this rack right down the nose? Sometimes you do see the 9 ball move a lot more when you break from down the middle. And there you see it was moving. It weren't a million miles off going in. But what it has done is it's given them a pretty good table here. Just looking if there's any problems, and kind of the 3 to the 4 could pose a few issues if you don't get on the right side of it. This is what you want, Phil. You're 5-3 up, and you've got an open table really to get on the hill. It's a big, big rack.
As the line approaches, the level of expectation increases. Will Besar continue to hold firm?
Yeah, Kaci's just had a walk round because he's just looking if the cue ball's in the middle of the table, can you pop the pink 4, excuse me, after these next 2 balls. Obviously that 4 ball only goes in the pocket that the 3 goes in. He's perfect there. He can just pull this back through the gap. Yeah, just where he's got his cue there. He can just play this with a bit of low right hand spin, and as long as that cue ball comes through the gap and doesn't hit the 4, he should be fine. Just a little bit short of pace, because I'm not so sure that 5 goes in that side. I think it goes in the corners. Which means he's going to be drawing into the edge of this 9 ball. Yeah, he's not quite happy.
Extension called.
He also knows this is a big shot, because if he gets his partner on this 5, you would think it's rack over. And that's a pretty good effort, that. Judged that pretty well. He was always canning into the edge of the 9 there, so Besar's got the big shot in this rack, Phil.
Well, there's nothing to suggest so far that he won't step up to the plate. Oh, again though, a hanger.
Do you know, I was right behind that, and again, I thought the pocket was just going to swallow it up. So these pockets are playing nippy. You can see there on the overhead how deep the shelf is. So Ruslan, you've done a wonderful job with this table, because that always kind of wound me up when them sort of balls were falling in, but it seems they're not going to go in. And
Extension call.
it's only the second match, Phil. This cloth is brand new. The balls are brand new, so everything's still sliding, don't forget.
Yes, and we've seen so many shots like this where the object ball is buried deep in the jaws, really deep.
Yeah, and I want players to make mistakes, mate. What's the point in watching these players just keep running tables? The misses create drama, and this is a brutal shot he's got here. Well, it's not that brutal, but
Foul.
I thought he'd have hit the 5, Phil.
Well, this is turning into an absolute unmitigated nightmare for the Russians. Nothing going right. Mistakes aplenty. Extraordinary.
Yeah, cue ball's close. You kind of half put in a little bit of swerve on that ball, and also he's misjudged it, but it's a shame that. What's Kaci done here? He's not gone behind the 7. I'll tell you what, that is up there with one of the worst shots he'll ever play in his career.
He got more than half a table to drop into. More than half.
And the score's 5-3. You've just seen Ruslan miss the ball over the pocket, albeit it was a difficult shot. I mean, where's he going there, Phil? Can he get this cue ball in behind the 7? No, he kind of under it this. So the Russians, they're still in this. And it's kind of good news it's Fedor's shot, to be fair, because you won't fancy Ruslan's chances at this at the minute.
And matches turn on wasted opportunities, and that was most certainly thrown away.
Yeah, as you said, Phil, he's about 1.5 feet away from the right positional side of the table there. Completely misjudged. This is a big shot now, because this might be the only last chance Russia have, and he's missed the ball going on the way through.
They're butchering one shot after the next.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's an easy shot, but just after what Kaci's done, you kind of just think, this is our chance. Step up to the plate, knock the ball in. The likes of Chris Mellin and Jason Shaw and Joshua Filler, they'd fired that 6 ball in there. You know what I mean? They would have really punished Kaci for that mistake. Well, it is all going on at the minute. Kaci's really, he's not cueing good at all. The European #1, he is struggling. It's not nice, I must be said. I've been out there over the years, and when you don't quite feel you're on your A game, you just feel like screwing your cue. Can Ruslan not listen? Phil, over to you. I don't know what to say anymore.
Thanks, Carl. Well, it's rubbish. That's what I'm going to say. It's rubbish. We extol the virtues of these great players, and rightly so, but when they play badly like this, you've got to say it. You've got to call it as it is. Horrible pool.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is just basically 3 players out the 4 are just not cueing how they want to cue at the moment. Besar's the man who's kind of took this game by the scruff of the neck, but the Russian duo, they've had an absolute nightmare.
And surely this one will be rolled down the side rail to increase the Albanian advantage. There it is. The Albanians have taken a vice-like grip on this match. Russia making one error after the next. Albania lead 6-3. They're on the hill. Being diplomatic, it's been imperfect pool from the Russians. They'll be melancholy in Moscow at the moment watching this. I'll tell you what, the amount of blunders we've seen from both players, well, no one could have predicted it. But the Albanians aren't complaining in the slightest because they lead 6-3, needing only one more to go through.
So it's Fedor Gorst to break, and it's kind of like not looking good for the Russians, obviously, but you know, it's 6-3. You can still turn this match around. I know it's the old cliche, but it's one ball, one shot, etc. at a time. This is why I love these events, Phil, because for me there's many players around the world who play amazing pool when there's no cameras and lights and crowd. But there's something about this one table setup where it exposes players.
Yes, and also the rhythm-wrecking Scotch doubles format leads to all kinds of thrills and spills, as we've seen in this match.
Yeah, I mean, been fortunate there. I don't really know what shot he was playing. He was just trying to hit the one, but he didn't really look like he were kind of playing a shot to me. It was just a case of make sure you hit your ball. That's where he's at the minute.
Extension called.
Tell you what though, when you make a mess of things in pool, the balls don't forgive. And they haven't forgiven the Russians.
Yeah, you're right, Phil, but I'm going to jinx Fedor now. He's one of the best players in the world with his short stick, with a jump cue. He's got a higher percent, very high percent of making these type of shots. So don't let me down. Well, at least he got it tracking towards the pocket.
The pot on the one isn't easy. Position from 1 to 2. Again, testing. But if it can be achieved, this could be the beginning of the end.
Extension called.
Yeah, you're just kind of happy that it's Besar who's got the shot though. You could see him jacking up there because he's got a little bit of angle, but whenever you jack up and try and fire the ball in when you've got distance, it does make the pot a lot harder. What a shot he's played here, Phil.
The police officer all match has laid down the law.
You know, I've been waiting for it. I know you've been thinking long and hard for that pun.
Yes, the amount of time I thought about it, it should have been better really, but give me some time.
I've noticed the Albanians both wearing matching purple gloves, Phil. Something else for you to think about there with a pun.
Not too many, please.
And that good shot from Besar has created this chance for the match now. 5 balls away from knocking out the match favourites, Russia. But it has to be said, Albania have not played great themselves, have they? Besar's looked pretty solid and steady, but Kaci's certainly missed a few, but I'm sure he will grow stronger and stronger, and he'll be on that practice table until their next match.
Yes, the Albanians' most prominent player hasn't shone, but I think if they do win, they'll be deserved winners. They've not been great, but they've been miles better than their hapless opponents. So 2 balls away from setting up a last 16 match against the Czech Republic or the Philippines. And Besar Spahiu has got every reason to be very proud of himself.
Yeah, I agree, Phil. I think it's been a good, solid performance. Never easy out there, as you've seen the more experienced guys. This 9-ball gets the win, Phil.
Russia are vanquished. Albania come through by 7 racks to 3.